these two girls are like hard styling, like they're like holding each other up
like a full
and pissing in the crowd at Coachella.
On the grass?
On the grass. Yeah. I'm like talking on the phone and I feel something hit me on the arm and then the neck. And I turn around and there is a girl cartwheeling. She had kicked me in the neck.
Yeah.
You could make something brand new and put it out there and be vulnerable. And that's a level of art that like you're at. Or you could make something that 1,000 people have made before and that is your art and you're putting it out to be vulnerable with.
Lauren Young. Her art brand,
art,
I
guess.
What would you? It's
art brand, lifestyle brand,
lifestyle brand,
lifestyle brand.
Like pen name. I don't. She also is Abstruse.
Abstruse.
We're gonna put all her tags. Lauren just got back from Coachella and Stage Coach and creating art, getting paid to create art. We're gonna go through the whole thing. Welcome back to the Saucy Sibz. We had to throw her. We literally had to chuck her in the closet because we haven't seen her. And she's been in California for a month. So we were like, we couldn't stop talking. We're like, no, we got to sit down and turn the cameras on.
I think we brought up like 5 topics where we were like, oh, we should say that for the pod. We should say that for the pod.
Hold.
Yeah.
Hold.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Release. Literally.
Get in the closet.
I asked you a question. I was like, okay, I'm going to wait for the podcast to ask you a question. But you were like, okay. I'm like, okay, I'll just ask you right now. But and then we were like, okay, wait, but like just that's the only thing you can say. And then I'm going to ask you a little bit.
Hold.
Yeah.
He showed me the Nelk Boys podcast. They have someone like film while their guest walks in and getting ready and like chilling, just to kind of use as like B-roll or like opening and just kind of make people feel a part of it. I'm like, okay.
And
that's when you would get the rated R stuff that you don't want on the podcast where I'm just like walking in like, oh my God, wait until you hear this one.
Yeah.
Like, right. Sometimes I love and I hate how much we cut out of the pod. Like, sometimes I'm like, let's just do it. Like, we should just like put everything out there. And then other times I'm like, maybe not. Maybe I don't need my face on a video associated with floor drugs.
Just
or something.
Random things that you found in the trash that you ate, or like, mac and cheese that you placed the box into the trash can and then you were like, oh no, wait, actually I'll take that out. Like,
I've eaten out of the trash.
Yes, I eat out of the trash frequently.
Yeah.
But like not frequently, but I would say once a quarter. Let's go with once a quarter.
When was the last time I ate something from the trash?
I don't think you would.
Francesca,
really?
I used to be a dumpster diver.
It's like
big
it's
time.
so easy if it's packaged and it's closed and you just set it in there and it's on top. Like,
it's fine. I once brought a whole bunch of Krispy Kreme donuts into my college and then like fed them to everyone.
Yeah. No, he would dumpster dive Krispy Kreme.
Oh,
that was
okay.
So
that's
what I mean.
They unknowingly ate.
No,
donuts.
I told everyone. I got these out of the dumpster because every night, they would just throw trash bags.
Yeah, a lot of donuts.
Untouched donuts.
They can only do what they have on the shelves that day, and then they throw them away.
Mm-hmm. And
I don't feel like donuts, that's not trash, really.
Exactly.
Because it's still fresh.
Yeah, and there was nothing else in the trash. It was just donuts. And I lived right next. It was on my way to school, and like
gold mine. It was just donuts.
Like Johnny Appleseed with like a sack.
Literally, yeah. I'd go and ask them for a box, and they knew what I was doing. Everyone did it. It was just like it was kind of a local secret.
I have like fed people things at my house where, as I've been cooking, I've been like, ooh, I just lost like a piece of label in that. And I'm not going to tell people. I think I picked it out. Like a label off like an apple. They'll eat it.
That's a need to know basis. People don't need to know.
But I'm like, if it's not poison, and like what? If you just get a piece of label in your mouth, it's off an apple, like, take it out.
Where did we work? We worked at a really nice restaurant and someone accidentally got the saran wrap in the tomato soup. Were you there?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I forget which one it was.
Because that is kind of poisonous.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Someone like put like saran wrap and it was like these little tasters of like tomato soup and we served them like all night for something. And then one of us went back there and we're like, oh, shot of tomato soup. And we were like,
oh, there's plastic in that.
Oh, there's plastic in my mouth. And we were like, what? And we were like, but the night was over. Like, we couldn't go back in time.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, I had a food truck and I accidentally served people frozen mozzarella sticks for like 6.5 hours. And then finally a girl came up to me and she was like, hey, this mozzarella stick is frozen. And I was like, I have served like over 400 people those mozzarella sticks. Thank you for telling me. And I go and look at the the freezer and I'm like, those are frozen. I look at the deep fry and I'm like, that's not on.
I can't believe someone would say something.
Right. I'm like, how many people got these, took a bite and were like, I can't eat this.
I'm going to say something kind of girl though. Confrontation.
Kind of what?
Like a say something kind of girl.
Oh, I thought you said I'm gonna say something kind of girl. I was like, what does that mean?
Oh no, like I am a say like I'll always say something. Like I'm not like a Karen. Like I don't have to be a bitch, but like I'll be like something. I'll be like they would appreciate knowing
something's clearly wrong.
I would also say something, but I think it would have to like register on the Richter scale of like how bad. Like if it was like I was at a restaurant and my food came to me and it was raw, I would be like, okay, I'm at a restaurant. Like they have all the tools they need. This shouldn't be raw. But if I was at a food truck and they served me something raw, I'd be like, well, what did I expect? It was a food truck.
I kind of feel that with food trucks just in general.
Right,
I'm
the standards are lower.
Yeah.
I can tell you from the back end.
Yeah.
The standards are lower.
The standards are lower.
Yeah.
I once was looking for an Uber, but I couldn't get any. And I was in Albuquerque and this food truck like took me home. And and
Did you sit next to the lettuce?
No, they had like a bench, they're like a few chairs, and it was just like, and it was like an African food truck.
You're just like rolling around in the food truck.
No, I mean I had like a seat, like I think I was sitting on like a pickle bucket or something.
That's good. They secured you.
Yeah, no, and they
you have to secure everything, otherwise I
see what you mean.
It's like a boat.
Oh yeah,
That makes sense.
Mac and cheese everywhere, every time.
Okay, back to the tism.
Back to autism.
Just see, you asked me how I know I'm autistic. I'm like, because we just did that.
Really?
Because we just did that flowing loop back to the thing.
Yep.
I mean, how do I know I'm autistic? I have the fun kind where I didn't know I was autistic. So I was forcibly, like I had to develop all of the normal people skills, but just while struggling at it. So like while I was like, this is just so confusing. Why do people not like me? I was just like trying to figure out like, oh, well, okay, they like me more if I don't insult them. Don't insult them again. Memorize that. Like, okay, smile at people. They like that. Like all those weird things that you don't have to think about. I thought about a lot. And then now knowing that I'm autistic, it came from, or like really how I got to it was by having every other misdiagnosis that you could ever imagine ever for the last like decade and being like, these just don't match. Like this doesn't work. Like they'd be like, oh, you're depressed. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. And they're like, well, you're sad. And I'm like, no, not really. And they're like, oh, it seems like you are. Like I just was, it was like anxiety diagnosis. I'm like, well, I'm anxious sometimes. And they're like, oh, well, you must have anxiety. Just like every single misdiagnosis, like bipolar disorder, everything. And I'm like, dude, I was just autistic the whole time.
Yeah.
I was just artistic.
That's such a relief.
Yeah.
It is artistic. And that is the fun kind.
Yeah. I got the fun kind. I like to call it like a superpower because now that I know that I have it, I'm like, oh, I just know how to function at such a high level because I was struggling so hard to function at a normal level that like I have all the tools that I need. And now I know I'm autistic, so I can just like give myself the other things that I've been trying to not need, like fidget toys and rest, sleeping, just general sensory things like earplugs. Those are nice. Didn't know I needed those until
earmuffs?
Like literally, anything to block out the noise. Emily, with her earmuffs.
No, because Nick likes our friend who's been on the podcast. She wouldn't take them off for like the whole winter season.
And we're like in the bar, and she's like, "You like my like earmuffs?" And I was like, "They look nice. You just look autistic," which is like, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just look like an autistic girl.
She wants to be like me.
Yeah.
It's not my fault that people want to be like me. But no, I think that also mine is which this is the most confusing one for everyone, is they're like, oh, well, okay, like you get the really insulting phrase, which like you don't look autistic. And I'm like, okay, not great that we're starting with that. But it just means that you don't understand and you've never seen or met someone and like haven't been exposed to this. And then B, the other one is like, oh, well, you're really talkative. You talk to people. You can be friends with everyone. And I'm like, yeah, that's because when I was a little kid, I learned that I had to be friendly and be talkative to everyone. Otherwise, people would call me weird and didn't like me. And I couldn't talk about horses all the time with everyone.
Are you a horse girl?
Yeah, I'm a horse girl.
Hell yeah.
Wait, the Western.
Yeah, I'm a
all
horse
the Western
girl.
stuff makes way more sense.
But I'm not a Western horse girl. I'm an English horse girl. But
yeah,
I will fully embrace that. Yeah, Western horseback riding is cute. But I am totally a poser because I never was a Western horseback rider. And look at me now. I'm wearing overalls and boots, and I have a boot chain.
I love the boot chain, by the way.
Thank
Show
you.
the camera. Well, boot chain.
Okay, but
Boot
even
chain.
more interesting, where's the boot chain from?
The boot chain is from LA, and it is out of a vending machine that I helped build for their activation at Stage Coach, which leads me into my next fact, which is I just got back from working with Allergen at Stage Coach.
Which, you guys, it is like the Botox rewards. Like, I saw her story. I knew she was in Stage Coach for activations with like different brands. But I was like, since, as you guys know, I just got Botox. So I'm in the rewards program now. Obviously, they've got me hooked. Yeah. And I was like, wait. You're at Stage Coach with the Botox people. And she was like, wait, yes.
I sure am. I was at Stage Coach with the Botox people, but I did not know it was the Botox people. So I made all of the cactuses not knowing it was for Botox. So then I found out while I was at Coachella that it was for Botox. And I was like, this couldn't be more off brand for me. I was like, I don't know anything about this. And they were like, sign up for the loyalty program. Like, we'll give you discounts. And I was like, yeah, like,
yeah.
Woo! Where do I get it? Do you guys do armpits? Like,
Yeah.
I was like so confused and foreign, but yeah, yep. They own my cactuses now. The Botox
Well, I feel like
people.
they probably pay really well.
Yeah.
They've got to be making a shit ton of money.
I
The
think-
Botox is so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the LA, what I understood from the LA brand is they are like linked to Botox. Like it's like their rewards program. So
Mhm.
like with LA, you sign up to basically like get percentages off Botox.
They really get you in there because for my first appointment, I got a $50 off coupon.
Yeah.
And they do like little like flash sales. So every time you're in the office, you get to scan a code and it's like a lottery.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
It could be
that makes
$10
sense.
or like $100. And they give you $20 off any of your next appointments.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it just keeps you going because you're like, I'm basically
Sign me
saving
up.
money.
Yeah, you're like, spin the wheel. Let me know what I
Yeah.
get. Yeah. So the disco cactuses, I thought were going to a bar. And then when I was at Coachella, I discovered they were going to LA. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Botox sounds cool. And then they were like,
Smile.
sign up for rewards. And I was like, sure. And then this guy came up to me as I was setting them up and he was like, what is this booth for? And I was like, it's LA. It's like Botox. And he was like, are the mirrors so all the girls can look at their Botox? And I was like, good. I mean, yeah, the disco tile, like you look at your Botox and I was like,
that's what I thought when I was like, oh, it's like, look at how beautiful you
yeah,
are now.
mirrors to see your beautiful reflection.
Yeah.
I
Even
don't
the
know.
desert has
Yeah.
image. You know, like
Yeah. So it was like the actual activation itself was centered around the disco cactuses, but it was also like folks could come in and spin the wheel and like get discounts and then become a
Hmm.
member. And then they got access to our VIP club,
Okay.
which also had disco cactuses in it. So yeah.
So
Yep.
how did they find you?
That is
yeah.
a great question.
They
don't
just
know?
came to you.
I have no idea.
I love that.
Did
No
they
idea.
reach out on like Instagram? And they were like, we hear you like disco.
We love disco. No, so in December of last year, I got a very random email that was from a marketing company that was basically like something to the tune of, we are working with a large client at a major festival and we're looking to partner with an artist like you and we really like your art. Are you interested? And it was like that. And I get that email and I was like, this is a freaking scam. I was like,
Totally.
scam. I tell Joe, my partner,
You send back scammers.
Yeah, I
Won't
was like-
get me.
ha ha ha, yeah, you better want, yeah, I bet you want my social security number. But I told Joe and my partner, he's like, don't send them your birth certificate and your mother's maiden name. And I was like, I don't think it's a scam, but let's just test the waters. And so I emailed them back and was like, let's have a meeting. And they were like, sure, next week. And I was like, okay, all right. Seems
All
slightly
right.
legit already. And we had a meeting. And during the meeting, they were like, can you sign an NDA? And I was like, all right, this seems legit. I was like, yeah, send it over. And I was like, yeah, I'll have my assistant take a look. And yes,
Is it Joe?
Yeah, my assistant Joe, who thought this was a scam as well. But so they send over the NDA, I sign it, then they reveal the like partnership that I would be working for at Coachella, which was with Method. So Method products like soaps, conditioner, shampoos, the spray, cleaning household stuff. So they had just launched a new shampoo and conditioner line, and they wanted to basically like brand it at Coachella and get a bunch of folks excited about their shampoos and conditioners. So they reached out to Coachella Method and said, we want a footprint, but we don't want to assign a marketing team to do it. Do you guys have like a marketing team that affiliates with Coachella? And Coachella's like, yeah, this team that hired me. So they basically are a marketing firm that gets hired on by like large festivals to take up all of the brands that don't want to put like a marketing team on site, and they just do their activations for them. Okay. So I know, very confusing.
So there wasn't Method people on the ground with you?
There was Method people on the ground, but they were not the ones that were like running the whole shebang. Yeah. Like their marketing team was there getting content and pictures and stuff, but and like making sure everything looked good and was like thumbs
like
up.
Brand. Okay.
But the actual team I was working with was this marketing team that is out of, I think they have a couple different offices, like one in New York and one in California. They basically just partner with these festivals and hook up all brands that want a footprint at these festivals but don't want to pay a marketing team. So I was working with them for Method. They also had like 4 other clients. I think it was like Amex was one of them. I can't remember the other. There was like a sunglasses brand. So basically these brands were just like, we want to be at Coachella, but we don't want to pay a marketing team to do it.
Well, they're paying.
Yes.
Probably more.
They're paying a lot. Like these companies, I still have absolutely no idea how much that like activation cost.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking of like my PR company in New York. We would do activations for people, and dude, even like a small booth at like a trade show, like we design the booth and design the concept and whatever. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah,
like easily.
I kind of like ballparked it, which I have like a very horrible range of what I thought it was worth, but I think it had to have been over probably $500,000 just for this one activation.
Yeah.
And like the only ballpark range that I have off that is that they were going to make a custom golf cart for Coachella, and their budget was like insane. Like it was like $250,000 or something.
Just for a custom golf
cart. For a golf cart. I was like,
no,
what?
That doesn't surprise me.
I'm like, how do I get that contract? I would like the $250,000 golf cart contract, please.
Disco golf cart.
That's why when I started doing social media on like my own, it's because I was seeing what we were like charging clients to do for it. And it was just me.
Yeah.
Like all of our clients separately were like 10, 20 grand a month.
Yeah.
And then I was just managing all of those clients, me and like a team of interns. And I was like, oh, I could just like do this. But as a bigger company, you can like, of course, charge more. So wait, you were saying that you had a good experience with like your production team and everything, but that you have some opinions about Coachella.
I know. I have a few things I want to get to the bottom of. Okay. All things Coachella. Okay. But okay. Is it like super branded? Just everything and everything?
Oh my God. So yes. It's like, yes, it's basically just everything is branded.
Right.
The first weekend that I was there, I had no capacity left. Like I had to leave it about like 8 or 9 each night because I was like, I can't do it. It was almost like, do you know when you like see people like taking videos of themselves in public and you feel like a little like cringe? Everyone was doing that.
Yeah.
There was no shame in these people. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, how could you be at this show, like standing in a crowd, filming yourself dancing when this like amazing show is going on? Like, it was just very like, dare I say, vapid, like hard to watch. The second weekend was completely different. It was all different audience. Still a little vapid, but not as bad. Like,
it's good to know.
Yeah. So the second weekend, which I think all the artists know as well, is like that's the weekend where people go for music. Weekend one is where people go to say they went to Coachella and get the videos. The like atmosphere of the crowds, it was just so painful as like a music lover and like knowing how much work was going on behind the scenes to put on some of these shows and seeing people just in the freaking crowds leave as soon as the artist played their song and they got their video, they would just walk out of the crowd. And like I would be front row at some like super famous artists, like just standing there because everyone was like, oh, I got my video.
No way.
That whole sentiment right there really freaks me out because I've heard people be like, oh, like Madonna opened up with my favorite song ever. So I saw that song and I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
It's
like, I know.
It doesn't make sense. But what kind of makes sense is like there's so much happening and it's not an overnight festival. So like maybe they're just staying to see that one song and they're going to run over and see another artist. I was not getting that impression from some of the people weekend one, but who knows? Maybe they were. And maybe my opinion is just wrong.
Oh, Coachella is not a camping festival?
It is a camping festival, but like it shuts down at midnight. Like I think it's maybe 1 because it's such a sound ordinance area. And like they get fined. I think it's like $100,000 an hour that they go over.
Yeah. That is so
It's
lame.
insane. Yeah, it's insane. And so
it's in the middle of like the desert.
It's not in the middle of the desert. It's like in the middle of freaking Indio, California, which I thought was going to be like a podunk little town, but it was like decently sized. Like there's like loads of coffee shops and stuff, but it's like on the polo fields. So
yeah, okay.
I'll just like set the scene. I arrive on site on Wednesday, sweating already because it's hot. And I don't know where I'm going. They have signs everywhere. You are not allowed to walk on the grass. So all of the production team, everyone who's working to set up Coachella, we have little pathways made for us, like across the grass on the polo fields that you are allowed to walk on. You are not allowed to walk on the grass. You're not allowed to drive on it. You can't even look at it. They have full teams of people watering the grass.
So are the people allowed to walk on it?
They can walk on it while they're watering it, but you can't drive a golf cart. There's like all these rules. They have lanes of where you can walk.
Okay.
Which it's like, we're setting up this event for people. Come to find out, all of that grass is farmed like 2 miles down the road. So they freaking grow this grass, cut it up and roll it out for Coachella. And then they're like, the sod is growing. And so that's why you can't walk on it. So day like Friday, Saturday, the grass is green and lovely and like everybody's walking around barefoot. By Sunday of the first weekend, grass is all dead. All dead.
Oh.
None of it is alive. Some of it is slightly alive, like under areas where like people weren't walking, but pretty much all of it's dead. So any picture you see of people with green grass, assume it's on Friday or Saturday because there was no grass after that. And then by the second weekend, it was like 45-mile-per-hour winds, Dust Bowl, no grass again. And like, it's just insanity. So like the first weekend, everyone was like, oh, get your feet in on the grass. Like you won't see this anymore. And I was like, what does this mean? Like all this grass is going to just go away? Literally gone. Sunday morning, I come out at like 7 a.m. I'm like, all the grass is dead. I took a sign or a picture of a sign that said like, do not walk on grass. And it was just in the middle of like a
desert,
a dirt pit. I was like, oh, all right. But yeah, the crowd was very interesting. The production team and everyone like working behind the scenes of Coachella is like next level.
Yeah.
They are setting up this event for like 100,000 people that go to this. It is like wild. It's huge.
Wow.
It's so big. It's so big. It's very like mass produced, super capitalist. Like everybody is there to be seen. And all of the like food and stuff is expensive. It's as expensive as you saw. Like it's like $20 for French fries. Like I paid like $22 for an Aperol Spritz one day. And I was like,
that pisses me off.
Yeah, like she was like, oh, it's $35 for a double. I was like,
a double of Aperol?
Yeah, for if I wanted to get a double of the Aperol Spritz. I was like, I don't know. No. Yeah, like everything was super expensive. All of the folks that were there weekend one were definitely, I would say the majority, just there to get their videos and be seen, and like so much filming of themselves. It was just painful. Like I was walking on the phone between a stage and to go get food. And I'm like talking on the phone and I feel something hit me on the arm and then the neck. And I turn around and there is a girl cartwheeling. She had kicked me in the neck.
Yeah.
And I see her like jump up, like she's like, oh my God, like I'm thinking she's about to apologize. She's jumping up in the video going, like
TikTok.
She just hit someone in the neck.
I was like, you just kicked me in the neck with your boot and you didn't even, and I'm in the video behind you, like looking at you like, what?
Damn.
But
so I've heard all these things about Coachella like that. And if some people are like, oh no, Coachella is actually like really great and fun, but I just don't feel like it could ever exist without all of that, you know?
Yes.
Like,
yeah. So Coachella itself, I understand why the tickets cost as much as they do, because
how much are they?
They're like $600 or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's 3 days?
Yes.
Okay.
So I assume like camping is probably an additional 100 something. So it could be potential of like $700 just for like credentials and camping, which you don't want to camp there. So hot. So hot, no trees. But the tickets are paying for what I would say is worth it, which is like the production of people's sets. Like there were things on these stages that I was like, I have never seen. Like
That's cool.
By weekend 2, I was like, this is almost like I'm seeing a play. Like every single artist had a different stage setup. Like for example, Bleachers came out, changed the floor on the stage in like 15 minutes. Like they just laid a bunch of tile down. I was like, why would you, what? And they were on like a side stage. I'm like, wait, did they change the floor of this stage? They just like rolled out a whole tile floor. Doja Cat had a like octagon of mud in the middle of the crowd that she popped up in at the end of her set and like did a mud dance and like threw mud at people. I was like, this is what? Why? Who made a mud pit here? Like the level of production, like a Steinway piano gets rolled out. The screens are insane quality. Like there is no lag. They're like so precise. You can see like pores on artists' faces. Like, and then on top of it, like they have full set design. Like Chance the Rapper, or not Chance the Rapper, Tyler the Creator had Chance the Rapper come out.
Oh, cool.
They had all these like artists pop up, but Tyler the Creator's set was freaking like, it was like a canyon. It was like 4 stories of like the Grand Canyon on stage. I'm like, how? And he drove a car on stage. It just doesn't make sense for me. I'm like, I know what's happening behind the scenes. Like there's 15-minute set changes between all these stages. They were keeping people on time and freaking rolling out the Grand Canyon onto a stage. Like it's just it's insane. The like Doja Cat had a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton thing. Like some of the things that they had on stage, I was like, damn, I need to get into like stage props because like that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you're kind of selling weekend 2.
Right.
Yeah, weekend 2, beyond the grass being really gross. Weekend 2 was.
I'm not going to the festival for the grass.
Yeah, it was like it's just real dusty. I'm not going to the festival for the grass. I mean,
but I do like nice grass though. Like
it was nice. I will say, like I enjoyed weekend 1's grass. It was nice. I will give it that.
Doja Cat fucker. The grass on Friday is so
you ever
good.
just touch
grass? You just gotta touch earth sometimes. But I'm
all
like
these influencers. Here, it sounds like they need. Do we do turf in here?
Joke, but
wait,
we could do grass in here.
I think I would like turf in here. Well, we used to have a big before. So this whole thing, you know, I told you we got the new apartment because I was afraid of mold. This got destroyed by mold, so that's why it's different carpet. We had to take out a lot of the drywall. It was like a whole thing. But we used to have like a really nice
cowhide.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so that was a vibe.
Molded.
Yeah, but it's dead.
If we had real grass in here, it would like kind of get moldy. And
you could roll sod out like Coachella does and just have people water it and then replace it.
Sod would just piss
everywhere. Oh my god.
Especially like in a closet.
Yeah.
I think even turf. I don't She might take a shit.
Speaking of pissing everywhere, I just had a thought. Oh my God. Okay. Describing again Coachella weekend 1.
Yes.
Set the scene. I'm at Sublime.
With Rome?
No, just Sublime.
Oh, really?
It's his son now.
Okay.
I have no idea. And
I had no
only
idea.
the one song, Santana. No,
Okay.
I'm not even.
Santeria.
Santeria, that one. I only know that song.
That's his name?
No.
No, their big song is I Don't Practice Santeria.
That's the only, pretty much only one that I know. For some reason, I'm there. I'm at Sublime.
Yeah, no, I actually love Sublime.
I've seen them multiple times.
Right. So
with Rome.
it's his son now, who's the dad died or whatever.
Bradley.
Yes, he passed away. Rest in peace. His son is now performing. I guess that was his first show. Again,
I have not heard about
I know
this.
nothing about Sublime. So I'm standing there. All my friends are like, yeah. I'm like, this is great. It's cool. My friend, like my buddy, like bumps into me and then like goes on to the other side. And I'm like looking at him. I'm like, what? Are you good? And I'm like, did you just fall? And he's like, no. I just wanted to move over here because those girls are peeing. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And I like look over. These 2 girls are like hard styling. Like they're like holding each other up
like a full
and pissing in the crowd at Coachella.
On the grass?
On the grass. Right on the grass. Holding each other's arms like this.
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah, they're holding
but
each
still,
other up.
I mean, how rude could you be?
It was not crowded.
What?
It was not crowded. It wasn't
but
crowded.
This isn't like a dire situation.
You could have walked to the bathroom.
Apocalypse at Burning Man, which people like. I don't.
You could have walked to the bathroom.
Just go to the bathroom.
You could have walked to the bathroom. You could have worn a diaper. Pee on the ground. They're wearing skirts like they had the plan.
How far away are
Like
the bathrooms at any given moment?
Not far.
Exactly. Because
I could see them behind the girls
even
peeing.
Big festivals, like even when I was at like Tomorrow World, it was kind of like, okay, we have to go take a 15-minute break. Let's all lock arms and go to the
everybody
bathroom.
go to the bathroom together.
But
girl, they peed on the ground next to me. Like I looked over and was like, I see a puddle forming under that girl. And they're just like,
it's Tana Mojo.
And then they jump up and start dancing again. And their buddy takes a video. And I'm like, I cannot believe.
They're on his shoulders. Little do they know. Like,
I was like, that girl just freaking peed on the ground. But like, then I'm walking around shoeless the days before that. And I'm like, not anymore.
Fuck that.
I'm not touching any grass after what I just saw.
I don't care how nice it is at Coachella. Nah. I don't want to like talk about or compare festivals to Coachella, and especially Burning Man. You literally can't do this.
Oh, I know.
We can't do it. But
but
no, I'm just saying, like, I just find that a lot of the things I've heard, I've never been at, Coachella, is like they're just like lacking a sense of etiquette that goes along with like festival culture.
Yes.
And like obviously Burning Man. But
yes, that's 100% what it was. And like most people, at least everyone that I spoke to, because a lot of my friends went and people that I respect, and then I'm like, I know that you make good decisions in life. So what was your thought on paying $600 to come to Coachella? And like everything about Coachella was amazingly done. Like the stages were all great. The production is great. The food is amazing. Like they bring in vendors from LA that produce food, like make nice food at a festival. Like they have all these activities, all of those activations. Like it's a very well thought out festival. The problem is that it's a festival for people that don't festival. So the people that were there were like they peeing on the ground because they don't know how to go to the bathroom at a festival and find their friends again. It's like common knowledge. Get a freaking totem or a tall friend.
No, they don't know.
Like,
get a tall friend.
Get a freaking tall friend or something and make them stand somewhere. Yeah, make them stand.
Explain a totem. I feel like not everybody knows what that is.
Oh, well, you have to have like a stick that you put in the air that has a light on it or something.
Like a banana. Like a giant
literally
lit up banana.
anything.
So when you're at big festivals like this, if someone needs to go to the bathroom, sometimes you're with a group of like 20 people.
Yeah, and they
Sorry
don't
for people who know this, but like my mom would not know what a totem is. So you don't want to go to have 25 friends go to the bathroom, but these crowds are so big in front of the stages that you need to be able to find your friends again. Otherwise, it's impossible. The phones don't work. You can't find their location. There's just too many.
Yeah.
So you get a giant stick, usually a light, and then it's usually like ridiculous. It's like one of your friends' faces, a banana. I mean,
something
you could have a disco flamingo. That would work. Yeah. But it would have to be wrapped in lights. So then you go to the bathroom and then you're like, disco flamingo.
You like look for your thing.
And one person has to hold the totem the whole time though. But usually it's just one of the guys. They don't care.
The tallest one usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. You make the tall one hold the lightning rod. For people, it's a landmark in the crowd.
Completely. And there's very, very famous ones.
Yes.
Like, who's the guy with the sign?
The sign that says like, this is your sign, or this is not a sign, or something.
And it's just a dude with the sign.
Yeah.
And he's always shirtless.
Yeah.
And like, or whatever.
Like the meme guy.
Not him, not the one that's like holding the thing with like a it's just a sign, like a picket sign, and I think it says like this is not a sign.
This is not a sign.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And his Instagram is that guy with the sign or something. Or something like that. I don't know. But he has like 100,000 followers on Instagram, and everyone who goes to festivals just have seen him at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, right, you have like the ones that you put time into and energy, and then you have the ones that are like rogue that you construct in campsites that are like a Swiffer pole with like a travel pillow. Yeah, like a Swiffer pole with a travel pillow. It's like zip tied together at the bottom, so it looks like a tiny penis, and then it's on a stick and it has lights, and that's how your friends find you.
I think we used a Swiffer. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I think we used a Swiffer at ACL. When I brought you, we stole something from the Airbnb.
You're right. It was something. It was something.
It was like a broom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those girls who peed on the floor at Coachella obviously did not know.
They don't know what a totem
is.
The
Pivotal totem trick. I told, oh my God. Okay. Another weekend one story. This woman was like, I was talking to her and I was like, yeah, like, she was like, I'm just so bummed because like the shower line has been so long at Coachella. Thinking to myself, I've never at a festival. Nope. I'm like, best thing I've ever done is baby wipes and maybe like one of those showers on someone's car. Like if they're like, oh, we have this like running this thing, and I'm like, sure, I'll use that. And it's just like a jug, and I'm like,
yeah.
Like I've had like a open beer can hit me in the head.
Yeah,
you know?
like that's a shower. That's a shower. But yeah, she's complaining to me, and I'm like, oh, well, you could take some of these free samples and you could put it into
soap.
You can put it into a water bottle. She was like, oh my God. Like I had just revealed some source of truth. She takes her phone out and writes it down in her notes app. Water bottle full of soap. I was like, just change this.
Yeah.
She's on a new course.
Yeah, it's really all you need.
She's about to be so clean.
So clean. It's funny how like with certain cultures that people aren't into, they like have to learn how to do it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was something you had to learn.
I mean, me neither. I felt going to festivals was very straightforward to me. But you know, I have taken friends to festivals that have never been ever.
You have to teach them stuff.
You do have to teach them some stuff.
Like
there was one time I was with three friends, and two of them had never been to a festival before, and we didn't have a totem. And I went pee, and like the crowd was like moving a lot. Like I lost them. So my plan was, I'll just see them after, like I'll wait around after the set. And it was like towards the end of the set anyway. I guess they spent the whole rest of the set looking for me.
Oh,
and
no.
were super upset and stressed that they couldn't find me.
Oh, no.
When I'm literally just like kind of standing towards the edge of the crowd. And then as the crowd moved away, they're like fighting with each other. And then they were like, Nick. And I was like, hey, like that was sick.
You're like, yeah, did you like the show?
And I was like, oh, like, I knew that I probably wasn't going to find them, but I guess I should have tried harder because I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Or just let them know that it's like,
well, you can't text people.
Yeah.
But like, I see what you mean. Like, let them know that if we get split up, you don't have to search and find me because it's literally impossible.
One of my number one things is always having like a spot. Obviously, that's
your
tent
you have to have the spot
there.
to meet.
But sometimes there's like, I don't know, just a very obvious, but honestly, the method tent would have been a good one because it can't be too big or popular of a landmark. But if I was like, okay, guys, like see this method activation, if we can't find each other and it's been 30 minutes, just fucking come right back here.
Yeah.
And I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Like
it's literally,
if we need to.
Yeah. We've tried like, I mean, I don't know how we've done this at Burning Man before where we're like, oh yeah, well, I'll just meet. If we get disconnected, we'll just meet at the Man at 9 p.m. And somehow we all show up at the same time.
Really?
We're like,
wow.
like it happened to me like 3 times. And I was like, that's never happened to me in the actual festival. Like, I'll be standing at a freaking pole for like 4 hours. Like,
well, because at Burning Man, people like you have to use your brain there. Or
yeah,
like,
you have
that's
to use
true.
all your senses. Like,
yeah,
they are well experienced in like crowds, drugs, festivals. It's like anything that could happen is like they've been through it.
Yeah.
Wait, but I will say, okay, so we've been really good friends with Lauren and her boyfriend Joe for like years now. But we knew we were all going to Burning Man, but it wasn't like we knew where each other's camps were, but just like a lot going on. We didn't make a set day. We were like, Hopefully we'll see you.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Oh my God, we kept running into you guys everywhere.
No, like you guys, I'm talking like the biggest crowd, like when Polo and Pan played.
Yeah.
I think there was 10,000 people there.
Yeah.
And we like turned to our right and it was you guys.
And we're like
right there.
Surprise,
like, we kept making a joke that like, were you guys saying it about us or us about you that we were spawning?
Yeah,
I
kept saying I was like spawning Nicodemus. It was like anytime I would say, I'd be like Nicodemus, and he'd be like, whoop, and he'd just show up there.
Well, that was funny at Polo and Pan because it was so crowded, and you came up like kind of fighting through the crowd, like doing this like chug-a-luggle thing.
Yeah,
we
were in a train. We were in a train. I was holding a full bottle of wine,
and you didn't even look surprised. Like I know you were, but you were just like, hey. And I was like. Fucking wow, came to me. Hi, Lauren. What's up?
Hey, did you guys summon me or what? Like,
yeah.
Just the person I was looking for, actually.
Yeah.
Like,
can I segue this into? I have a couple questions for you, but
Wait.
I
have one more question about Coachella.
Okay,
yeah.
I was waiting for you.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
this is the grand finale.
It just went on for too long.
This is the grand finale of questions.
Did you see Chapel Roan?
Yeah.
Okay, sick.
Yes, it was so good. I literally didn't have any other artists on my list of people I wanted to see, but I started listening to her after my friend's wedding in October last year and freaking fixated on it. Like I'm talking like 9 songs in a row. She's kind of like Lady Gaga-esque when she's like on stage, like very performative.
And I thought she was a drag queen when I first saw her.
She does.
She has that kind of like big over the top, but she sounds like a mixture between Marina, Lady Gaga, or Taylor Swift and Lana Del Rey all in one, and it's still like super easy to listen to and so pop.
Yes.
And like obviously she's the it girl right now and everyone's talking about her, but Coachella, I think that's her moment. Like that is her Lady Gaga 2009 VMA performance. Like that was it.
It was so good. She sounds amazing. Every artist that I saw sounded identically great.
Yeah.
Like there was no bad singers. She sounded awesome.
Yeah.
She freaking brought a wig out and put it on like the mic stand and like serenaded it as like casual. Like she sang like one of my favorite songs. She's like singing to a fucking wig. I was like,
that's pretty
cool. And I'm standing there with all of the like, I don't even know what they're called, the like little bow haired Gen Z girls. And I'm like, I feel relevant right now.
I feel relevant.
I was like,
no, I mean, that's like the most relevant performance of the year.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like 35 years older than all of you guys, and I'm only 30. And I love this right now. Like, I love this music. And she was awesome. I tried to message her and be like, hey.
Hi.
I was like, I loved your music. Do you want a bolo tie?
Yeah.
Also, I broke it, but you could still have it. And she didn't message me back, but still opportunity. Chapel, if you're listening to this, check your DMs.
Check your DMs. I wonder if a performance like that gets you like 1 million followers like after like one performance or something.
Well, yeah, because they did it live too. So it was like all live. So everyone could watch it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know that.
So you made a long Instagram post about being accepted as an artist at music festivals, and one as big as Coachella, which I think is like, congratulations. That sounds amazing. But what was your journey getting there? And you said that like a lot of people weren't nice to you about it, and throughout your whole life, you almost quit art.
Yeah.
Like,
yes. So like art itself has been really strange for me because like, I don't know if it's because I'm autistic or what, but like it's very like in my brain, it's very black and white. Like I'm like, art is on the wall in a picture frame. Like it has taken me like a decade basically to be able to now look at what I am doing and call it art. Like that to me previously, I would not have called that art. And so
she's pointing to a little disco cacti on screen.
Thing, like it took me a very, very long time to even like accept myself as an artist and like be able to take that title.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like I was fine calling everybody else an artist, but like it was like imposter syndrome for me. And I was like, this isn't what I'm doing isn't art. It's just like, whoop, fun. Mm-hmm. This last year, it's really changed for me where I've been like, okay, I need to stop being a bully towards myself just because I've been bullied by other people. I shouldn't bully me too. And so I've just tried to start changing like the language around what I do and like actually being like, I'm an artist and I deserve this and I earned it. And that was like a big thing for me with like these festivals. Cause like that was a benchmark in my brain where like 10 years ago, I was like, if I do that, I made it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it happened. And like, I usually will just like breeze past things and be like, oh, well, it happened because of this. Like, but in that moment, I was like, okay, I actually have to sit here over these 3 weeks while I'm working at these festivals and enjoy this and like take this in and not give a shit about what anybody else is saying about what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was like moments where like thoughts would come through my head and be like, oh, I bet people are looking at me right now and being like, that's not art. She's just freaking installing these stupid cactus things in the desert. And I was like, why am I like hating myself? I don't even know if anyone's saying that. And who cares if they are? Like, I just spent 62 hours making these in my freaking house and lost all my fingernails. This is art. Like, this is art for me. And so just like the journey of like being able to get to this point and being able to call myself an artist was a journey in it, like was me. Like I was my roadblock. There wasn't really anyone else in the way. I've had like people kind of like deter me or say things or just like maybe like backhand comments about some of the things that I do that has like kind of derailed my ability to be confident in like what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But then like life happens and like those little things that people said about me just like start to diminish and get smaller when I get a freaking contract to go work at Coachella.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like, oh,
Literally.
that freaking Joe Schmo said this about me and here I am and where are they? You know, it's like, so it's like the evidence, it starts to just kind of like make the voices quieter.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how much a little backhand comment can really affect you like later. Like I've known that there's been little comments that I think the person who said them would never even remembered that they said.
Yeah.
And I have been repeating it on a loop in my own head for 8 years.
Yeah.
And
oh, definitely.
People just need to stop making fucking comments.
Yeah, stop talking to me. Don't look at me.
Don't look at me. Don't
look
comment.
at me. I don't want to hear your words.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like putting people down. There's just no, it's just so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I think the journey is, just being able to turn those down on your own. Because it's like, damn, you just believed in yourself, like, you know, years before, like, where could you have been? And it's okay, because that is the journey and we all have to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is wild when you're like, damn, if I just like you know what I mean? Just truly like set out believing in myself, you could see yourself in the future where you would be. Like
I had this thought. I mean, I had like where I started with art was like so stupid. Like I started painting when I was like 20. Not good paintings. My first painting I still have. It's like a painting of my cat with a monocle and like holding a pipe. And it's not good. But like that was the very first thing that I made and was proud of. And like now I look at it and I'm like, I'm not proud of that. Like that was so stupid. I look at some of my old paintings and I can literally look at them and be like, damn, that's so embarrassing. I can't believe I had that somewhere. But like being able to acknowledge like in that moment that I was proud of that and like I did that like if I had looked back at that or like in that moment and been like, I hate this, I wouldn't have kept going as an artist. Like if I painted that stupid cat in a monocle and was like, this sucks, I wouldn't have ever kept going. And like, it's just like, you kind of have to be proud of where you are and where you're at in that moment. But then also like, for me, a big one is like, I have to see like the tangible evidence that like I'm succeeding, and I'm a perfectionist. So that's very hard for me. And like things like when I was 20 years old, standing in a crowd of people and being like, damn, all I want to do is be on a platform like a festival and freaking make art there. And then it happens. Like I could sit there and like downplay that, or I could just hype it up like it should be instead of wait for like 5 years down the road when I'm like, damn, I can't believe I did that. Yeah, it's really just like a whole lot of me learning how to be nicer to me and learning how to accept myself as an artist instead of saying what I'm making is not art. It's just something that I did in my garage.
Yeah. I've always kind of thought like to myself, Lady Gaga has always been my favorite artist ever. And she always says like art is and cool is whatever you say it is, where she has literally no definition of it.
Mhm.
That's what a lot of artists don't like. But like with me, it's like I've always been into theater. I did theater. I always did singing. Like that's art.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't really call myself an artist, and not that this podcast is art, but like
it is.
I mean,
but
it is
something
art.
worth
creative.
making and putting out to be judged. Like
Yeah.
there's
It's
something
freaking
there.
art. Like
Yeah.
if the way, okay, someone explained this to me like a year ago. The way what art is like you making something and putting it out there and being vulnerable. Like you could make something brand new and put it out there and be vulnerable. And that's a level of art that like you're at. Or you could make something that 1,000 people have made before. And that is your art and you're putting it out to be vulnerable with. Like certain like in that equation, one might have a higher caliber. Like if I'm making something for the very first time that no one has ever made, people might look at it differently. But if I'm making the same thing, if I'm making a freaking disco ball for the 5 billionth time, like it maybe isn't going to be like ranked as like the most creative thing, but like it's my art. And who's anybody to tell me it's not art?
Well, look at like Jeff Koons. He's does the like in like balloon animal dogs.
The giant balloon,
the giant balloon animal situations,
but
like
they're
those
made out
are
of metal.
Yeah, but those are million. I mean, he's one of the most famous artists in the world. But I know some people look at that and be like, okay, so you like put a balloon animal, cast it in metal, and then like made it big, and you think you're an artist. But everybody loves it. Everyone like appreciates it. Not everyone loves it, but it's interesting. You want to take a picture in front of it. It gets a conversation going. Yeah. He didn't invent the balloon animal.
No. And what's crazy, it's crazy that you just said Jeff Koons, because I was thinking about Jeff Koons when we were talking that he doesn't even make that. He commissions it to be made because he's the thought process behind it.
Right.
I don't know if he makes the balloons, but he did this one really big thing again with Lady Gaga for her art pop era, where it was all these like Roman or Italian Renaissance-esque like busts of like marble statues, but then with like a big balloon or something or ball. And like he's not the one making that out of stone and marble, because other artists do it.
Right. Yeah, like
But it's
fabricators
like his idea.
making it for them. Right. And like that's kind of the piece where I don't know. I guess like my artistic journey is which like I am not like the leader of how you should make art, but like I personally feel like you need to freaking put in the hours to earn that status. You don't just get to start out the gate with like somebody, you being like, oh, I have this idea, and you just like find somebody to make it for you.
Yeah.
That is less art and more, for me at least, like that's less art. That's more like, I don't know, like being able to source somebody to make something for you. Yeah. I think you should put in, this is my opinion, like the blood, sweat, and tears, the freaking like you're using money out of your own pocket to buy canvases and make your art, and you're picking up trash on the road and using that, or like reusing product. Like that's what I feel like everyone needs to start with. And then you can earn. You earn the fabricator.
Learn the rules so you can break them like an artist.
Yes, because like I do agree. Like that is art. I think anything that anyone creates is art. Like you could be an artist of short stories. You could be an artist of tweets. Like you could just whatever you're creating and putting out into the world.
Like memes.
Yeah. Like
no memes. That's hard fucking work.
It is. Or like making freaking reels on Instagram. Like that is hard. It's freaking hard. TikToks too. Like you're an artist if you're making that. You have a concept. But if you're like outsourcing stuff, if you're kind of like cheating and skipping the hard process of like what it is to be an artist, like I don't feel like that's the right artist journey. I don't know if it'll stick. Like, I don't know. I just have to put blood, sweat, and tears into stuff to really feel like passionate about it. And that's what has worked for me. Cause I don't think if I was like bleeding and crying over these freaking cactuses, they would matter as much.
Yeah.
You know, I do wonder. We were having, I forgot if I said this on one of the last pods. We've been having like 4 podcasts a week. So it's like, I don't know where I am in life.
I know.
Right now. But I always wonder if we started this podcast and it took off right away, would it mean as much to me? You know, like we really have put blood, sweat, and tears into this. And the other day I was talking to my dad and I was like, you know, I I don't know if like we should keep going or this and that. And my dad said, Francesca, honestly, the only way you fail right now is if you quit.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that makes sense.
damn. Like, I was like, that's because you just got to keep going. And like, but yeah, I think it does mean more because we've had to work at it.
Yeah. I think overnight success too. Like the people that do really just blow up, it's like they can never keep up with that momentum.
Yeah, it's a lot of, you're just like trying to
Mhm.
reach that expectation again.
And yeah, like Matt Rife, like is his next Netflix special, is anyone really going to care as much?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't really want to speak on him too much. We've
Yeah.
done some big hating on him, but like, yeah, it is just kind of, it's all a journey for sure. And yeah, I'm excited where you go. Do you have any more like upcoming projects that you're working on?
Yes, I have like a few. So this summer I usually partner with Berkeley Untapped. It's like a brewery in Denver, and they host all of my art for June. So they're going to have my stuff. And then I have a couple of just like unique potential things coming down the pipeline that are like more, I guess, like, I don't want to say like gallery stuff, but like where I could potentially like put things into a place and leave them there for people to see.
So I mean, yeah.
Not a brewery, like an actual place that hosts art. And then I just like in the next year am trying to set a goal for myself, or like an achievable goal that I think, or something that is going to be in my brain like a benchmark for like success, which is like I really want to keep pushing like as much as I can content out on Instagram and try and like build up my audience so more and more people see it, because like I've had some of my videos go like over 10,000 views, which is like hardly anything. And those are always super profitable for me. So like I get lots of requests and inquiries from those. So I want to just keep pushing that and hopefully like send that out into the universe and it happens.
Can I say something about that? This is a new update that just happened with Facebook or Meta and the Reels. They're saying that they're going to start pushing. They're changing the algorithm where they're going to start pushing your Reels to more strangers now.
Ooh.
Not just your followers. So at first it was like a little bit more towards your followers.
Yeah.
And then once it does well with your followers, and then out to other people. But now it's going to go more in kind of like a TikTok way, because TikTok's getting banned. I think that's why they're doing it. So it's really good for artists and creators. Because,
it's like, it's very like serendipitous because I have a marketing degree.
Oh.
So everything that I do is like a product of me having a marketing degree and not using it. So like I am very savvy with how to make things look a certain way
like
online.
Mm-hmm.
Very branding. Like I'm very branding savvy. And then on top of that, after college, I immediately started off as a social media manager in Nashville. So I was doing social media management for artists. And so like I have that context, which I think is like a really fun edge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On
and
like,
useful.
Yeah, very useful because like I can like see the content that I need to make and I see what is successful.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, like now the algorithm is so far gone from what it was when I first started, but like, just gonna keep trying and like all my main goal with art was never to sell art. Like it was just to have fun. And like I started doing it during the pandemic, really. And it's just been like
so recent.
Yeah, I literally started painting in 2020.
Wait, shut up.
Like officially painting.
Wow.
Well, yeah, because like before I think we knew you had a lot of your art in House of Vibes.
Yes.
That's how I knew.
That was
your skulls before I knew who you were as a person.
She draws a lot of skulls.
Skull girl is what they call me. Yeah, it's a lot of skulls with like 70s graphics.
Mm-hmm.
My first placement was House of Vibes. I made all of those paintings for House of Vibes.
Okay.
And then I painted the bathroom at House of Vibes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Yeah.
And then I painted a mural here in Denver. And that was the very first mural I'd ever done. And I did it for free.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I have to try and get some content and post it and see if people like it. And I got a contract off that mural. Like this woman just reached out to me and was like, I want a mural like that one. And I was like, sign me up. And I'm just like an extremely hard worker. So I've been able to balance doing art and my regular job.
You have like a big girl job.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you, I did know this about you. I was going to like bring this up, but also how did you handle Coachella and Stagecoach with?
I worked my regular job during the week while working that job as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like during the summer last year, I was working so much. I was not taking breaks, which this is my autism superpower and my ADHD superpower. Like I can just literally go and go and go and go until I lose interest in something. So like, or until I physically cannot go anymore and like my back is broken. But like while I was there, I was working like my regular 9 to 5.
Yeah.
What's your regular 9 to 5?
I work for Slack.
That's right.
Yeah,
I did know this. Okay.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
everybody knows Slack. I feel like I'm always like, oh, it's like an instant messenger tool. Yeah.
I mean, we don't work in corporate, so it would be fine to
but it's like
that.
people know from Burning Man. People know it from events. Like everybody,
Yeah.
I feel like everybody knows it. And it's like a cultural thing at this point. But yeah, I've been working there for about 4 years. So I balance both, which is a lot.
Mhm.
And usually
wild.
my weekends are completely filled during the summer with trying to chase murals and like get as many murals as I can.
Do you want to do one right?
Yes, sign me up.
So-
It would take me about a day. That's like the other piece of what has, like what?
we haven't. No, I was looking at like we haven't figured out what we're doing exactly with this
It's
place. So
like what I guess has also given me an edge is because I have such a stringent timeline with my work. Like I have to finish murals on the weekends. So like I will start a mural and finish it in 4 days, which means like 12 to 14 hour days.
Oh my God.
I'm freaking just up there painting. Like I'm like, I have a market tomorrow, so I'm going to do that. Like,
I know they asked me for your contact yesterday.
Yeah, like I get off work, I go straight to that. So I'll be working like until 9. And that's just pretty standard for me. Like I'm in the phase where I just have to freaking grind. Like if I say no to something, it's going to set me back. Like I basically just have to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Until like I can't say yes to everything. So yeah, I'm just saying yes to everything.
Cool.
Right now. And so far it's been working. Like I feel like I've really caught some momentum in the last few months, which has been awesome. Like I had 900 followers, I think, last Christmas.
Okay.
Or 2 Christmases ago. Now I'm like almost up to 4,000. And like that's a very minor thing, but like it's awesome.
Instagram's
like
hard to grow on, okay?
Yeah.
We know a lot of people who buy followers, and we've never done that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's a big amount of people. That is a small town of people who want to see your shit.
Right.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. And it was confusing at first because I was like, who are these people? Why are they following me? But like before this project, before my art project, Abstruse was my pen name. I was a poet and an author, and I was like writing under Abstruse. And then I got really burnt out on it, but I had like a decent following, and it was like in Tumblr era. So I was like, I had a decent Tumblr following. I had like 2,000 followers, and I just was like, I quit.
That's so funny. You go, is it your pen name?
Yeah.
At the start of and I laughed.
Tell the people what abstruse means.
Abstruse means difficult to understand or like complex. So I heard it for the first time in like 2009. It was like an SAT word.
Yeah.
And I just liked it. It was like quirky. I thought it was funny.
It
like
fits perfectly.
Abstruse.
Really can't put you in a box.
Yeah. And it's just, it means like difficult to understand, can't like, don't understand it at first glance. And so like abstruse for me means like you have to look closer or like look with a different perspective to understand it. And like my art is not complex. I don't think so, at least. But like sometimes it is, maybe. But it's always just very much been like a word that's described me. Like I feel like at first glance, people think they know me, and then they like you have to. It's kind of difficult to understand, and then you get to know me more, and you're like, I'm still confused. Like
I think I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, as I've gotten to know you I've known
well,
you
I
for
just
like
feel like
2
it's
years,
been like
maybe,
layers. I feel like I just learned more and more cool things about you every time we hang out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
No,
I'm like
truly.
an onion.
Yeah.
Like an onion.
Like Shrek.
Layers.
Truly. And it like totally fits. When I think you posted what it meant, or maybe I was just doing a deep dive on your Instagram, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, what is this word?
I know.
Like,
Everyone's always so confused. And then I have to spell it for people. I'm like
Obtuse.
ABSTR. And I'm like,
Yeah.
But people who get it, and people who don't. And like it's always been my pen name. And so now it gets to be my art thing, which is fun. So
yeah.
It's like growing with you.
Yeah. And it's evolved. Like I was literally just doing poetry and I got so burnt out. I was like, I can't do poetry anymore. I can't put this out here for people to see because it's so vulnerable. And then I stopped, completely cold turkeyed it for like 2 years and then picked it back up as an artist, like painting stuff, picked up the name again. And I was like, oh, I love my Abstruse name. And yeah, it's grown with me. And I guess another one of my goals of being an artist is like, I hope people learn what this word means.
Yeah.
Because like people will buy my stickers that say Abstruse and I'm like, do they have any fucking clue what that means? Like, what the fuck do they think?
That's so interesting. Yeah. I've always thought that I have a lot of favorite words. You know, I'm also a writer and I've never heard of
your favorite words.
Well, okay. Chimerical.
Oh, I did know that.
Okay.
Chimerical.
I like
It
that.
means highly unrealistic, wildly fanciful. It's also one of the highlight words in my favorite musical, the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. And the last word she has to spell in like a very pivotal part of the
chimerical.
Yeah, it's chimerical.
Ooh.
Because her win was chimerical.
Anyway,
but anyway, so it's just like it's like really deep.
We've come full
and then
circle.
Also, can I tell you a word that is actually I think one of my favorite words is oftentimes.
Oftentimes.
And it's just exactly
you
what
did
it means.
Tell me that the
I've
other
just
day.
I every time someone says, well, oftentimes I love it. I love it.
I like the way it rolls off the tongue.
to you?
I love starting sentences with, well, oftentimes, and I just go, I slayed. I fucking destroyed that sentence. And I'm just explaining to someone how to use a blender. Oftentimes you're gonna want to put the lid on.
I just saw somebody the other day or it was like an influencer use the word glean. Gleaning.
Wait, what word was
use
that? Okay.
Feign.
I used the word feign today.
Ooh.
Like
he out of nowhere.
I like that.
But in the context, he was trying to say, no, Francesca, like it's always better to just like pretend you know less than you do.
Don't
like,
pretend to be smarter. Pretend to be dumber.
Yeah, it'll always like because you don't ever want to talk down to people, so just always like pretend to be dumber. And so, what did you say?
I was like, it's always good to feign ignorance.
Oh,
and I was like, what the fuck word just came out of my mouth?
Wow, that's so Shakespearean of you.
I know, and I was like, I don't even know what that word means, except I do, and I use it completely correct.
I go, you did it right, and I go, but what the fuck? Who are you trying to impress here?
I go,
eating
ever
cereal, like,
said it before? Yeah,
feign.
It's better if you feign ignorance. I was like,
especially given the context of like pretending to be dumber than you are.
Now I'm gonna start.
And now you're being pretentious with feign.
I love that.
It's really deep right now.
There's nothing like using a word that people don't know, and you see their faces, and they're like, "What?" You see them trying to think through what it could mean.
Yeah. You used a word that is not that well known, but a lot of people really don't know what it means.
Oh.
Vapid.
Vapid.
A lot of people don't know what that word means. Vapid.
Yeah.
It means superficial.
Yes.
Non-difficult.
Yes, how I would describe most of what I saw.
Vapid.
One of my favorite words, you'll know it when I say it. Facetious.
Facetious,
Ooh,
yeah.
That's a good one too.
I can never pronounce it, but facetious is a good one, yeah. But
people
use it wrong all the time.
What do they think it means?
Sarcastic.
Oh, really?
It's pretty much what it means.
Well, doesn't it mean like disrespectful?
But facetious is like a sarcastic way, but it's like in a light tone. So like your jokes can be facetious. Sarcasm is like actually rude.
But like I'm like, oh no, I'm just like being facetious. Like I'm just being
okay, yeah.
Or like if I'm just messing with you, it's like, oh, she's being facetious.
The definition of
if you can fucking spell it.
Facetious.
FACEI.
Also, how do you spell feign? Isn't it FEIGHN?
I think so.
Feign?
FEI, yeah. I love using
facetious. 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 Facetious.
Wow. That's not how I would have spelled that. I was going to put like an SH.
Yeah. Look.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Treating serious issues with deliberately inappropriate humor. Flippant.
Flippant. I love that word.
Yeah.
That's probably another one of my favorite ones.
Okay. Facetious means, this is the difference between facetious and sarcastic. Facetious means intentionally not serious as in at least they didn't steal your brain after you've been robbed. Sarcastic means bitterly ironic or biting, such as you really need a new hat when the person already has too many.
Oh, okay. I can kind of see a difference there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know if this is relevant, but I used to work for a summer camp. And so kids were like 15 to 9. And one of the biggest things was do not be sarcastic with kids. Some kids, especially if they're autistic or if they're younger, they will not understand it. And so most people don't actually start understanding sarcasm until they're about like 13 or 14 years old.
Probably also men.
And then it's like,
slower to develop.
And then because it's kind of like biting like that, once they realize they don't understand why, you were making a joke, they were being rude. So it's like literally like kind of like abusive. Lightly abusive
because like they don't understand. That makes sense.
But so you're their counselor that they look up to. That's really cool. So you can't like
make fun of them to their face because they'll never understand why I would say that if they didn't mean that.
That makes sense.
One time I made a sarcastic joke to a kid and I broke the rule. I know, and he was literally 12. And he was bringing up his dishes to set them down and like bust his table. And he was like, oh, where do I put these? I was like, you're actually going to walk out those doors right there and go deep into the forest. And then you'll find a kitchen out there. And then other kids were like, oh, where do I put this? And I thought it was a joke. I thought I was being clearly sarcastic. He is literally walking outside to the woods. And I ran after him. And I was like, that's why you don't
go into the woods, young boy. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I used the sarcasm on you.
I know. He was confused. And I was like...
That makes sense.
I mean, in a position of power.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess kids don't get on. Yeah, that makes sense that they don't understand. I've also heard, which I like and think is very funny, that apparently the reason why people like autistic people or enjoy the way that they speak is because I'm just naturally offensive, but people think it's sarcasm. So they think it's really funny. So like my whole life, people have always said like, oh my God, you're so funny. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I was just insulting you. Like, I was just telling you.
Very like Aubrey Plaza.
Yes. Like where it's offensive.
And she's never come out and said she's autistic. But if you watch her interviews, I'm pretty sure she is. But it comes off as so funny. But she's like,
yeah. And so like
just being
people,
herself.
and I've heard this like my whole life, everyone's like, oh my God, you're so funny. And I'm like, I am literally making fun of you right now.
To your face. Yeah.
To your face.
You don't get it. I'm not funny.
Like, no, people will laugh at things when I'm insulting them. Like I'll be like, damn, that's an ugly ass shirt. And they're like, and I'm like, no, I'm not joking. That's an ugly ass shirt. That is and they just think I'm being so, it's not possible that I could be being that honest.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, that was going to be one of my questions. Where does your personal style come from? You have one of the best, most unique, coolest personal styles.
Stop.
Literally, I wouldn't get dressed until Lauren came over today because I was like, well, I have to see what Lauren's wearing.
Smart
and then
move.
I've got to go off the vibe. Yeah, and but they're like, I don't know, just
I guess
all of you. Where did this start? Have you always had your own sense of style?
No, I used to dress horribly. I actually had like a rule throughout high school that I only wore black, which is shocking because I don't have any black clothes now.
Yeah, I've never.
Like I don't even know where I would wear black clothes to. I wouldn't even wear them to a funeral. Like I would wear a suit, probably a red suit. But I think when I was like in college, I decided I was gonna like go start wearing crazy clothes, and I got a job at a Halloween store, and so I had full access to like costumes, and I would wear them places. And I went to college in South Carolina and I had blue hair. So I was already sticking out like a sore thumb. And then I started wearing costumes everywhere. And people were commenting on them. They loved it. I don't know if they loved it, but they were like, wow, what an outfit, kid. Like, so it got a lot of attention. And then I just continued to do that. And as I've gotten older, I just wear, one of my friends called it like, what would Lauren wear syndrome or something, where it's like, I could just wear the most ridiculous thing ever. But if I'm like loud and laughing and like talking to people, they will think it's fashion. I'm like, okay, like
slay.
This is 2 rompers right now. This is a romper under a romper.
Wait, shut up.
It's
That's
a
great.
romper.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah. And it's a pink
velvet
romper
romper
Yeah.
under a seersucker denim
sleeveless
romper.
What is seersucker?
That's I knew you were gonna know what it is. Boys like don't know patterns.
That's this. It's like lines,
blue and white lines.
Yeah.
It could also be other colors, but that's called seersucker. The other day, a man came in and he had on houndstooth shorts, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
Houndstooth.
I go,
Well,
do you know
I-
what your short is?" And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "That there's a name to that pattern."
Houndstooth.
And I knew he wouldn't know. Yeah, I was like, "Houndstooth." He's like, I love teaching boys.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't.
those
They don't know.
Yeah,
words.
I know houndstooth. Okay.
Well, this is seersucker,
Seersucker.
baby,
Yeah.
and apparently it's like I think any pastel with a white, because you can
Yeah.
do like a pink and white seersucker suit.
Mhm.
That's like very Southern.
Mm.
But I'm pretty sure my sense of clothing fashion literally just came from trying to be the most obscure looking person in the crowd. Like I was dressing in costumes to go places, like to dinner. And it was fun and people liked it and they laughed. And so I was like, okay, positive. My autism.
Wait, do you and Joe share clothes?
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering because we're gonna have Joe on the podcast. We still have it's on my to-do list. I'm like scheduled Joe on the pod. He makes a lot of his own clothes.
Oh yeah.
And so I was wondering, like, yeah, you guys connect on that. That's I'm sure obviously 1,000 other things too. But
thank God Joe and I are the same size. He's actually one size larger than me in pants, which I find shocking because I'm like, how is that a thing? But yeah, we fit in each other's clothes, which is really nice. He very rarely lets me wear his clothes, but I force him to try on all of my clothes for me. So like when I was out of town for Coachella, I got a package of some cute skirts for my birthday. And I was like, Joe, can you try them on? So I know they fit. And he tried them on for me on FaceTime. Looked super cute.
Wait,
that is like the
that's
best
so
boyfriend of
funny.
all.
Yeah, he was trying on my skirts and they fit him. So they fit me. He tried on my swimmy top. It was cute little. And yeah, so it's really convenient. He's basically like, yeah, my same size.
That's
I love that.
perfect.
Yeah, he just made me a skirt for my birthday. I was going to wear it, but it's a little short.
Oh,
So it would have been,
made you a sexy
Well,
skirt for
it's
your
a
birthday.
standing skirt.
Standing
It's
skirt.
a standing skirt, not a
Standing
sitting
skirt. Yeah, you
skirt.
have some-
You're going to be looking
especially on the pod.
straight down the chute.
Really, that's just when I
Shit.
Marty.
Such a visceral-
Marty just gave us
Chutes
a
and
crotch
ladders.
shot the entire episode. I mean,
Sometimes I accidentally do that.
Full spread eagle.
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean,
He
to
had the
each their
jorts
own.
and he sat spread eagle, and I was like, perfect.
I've been fighting the urge to like put my leg up on this chair because I sit like that weird thing, like where you're like this,
Mhm.
and you're
like
just
a
like,
gargoyle.
yeah. I used to drive like that. I had to train myself not to drive with my left foot.
Not good.
up.
Not good.
Wait, I
I'd be
do that.
driving my freaking
Mhm.
car like this. I'm like, girl.
No, so dangerous.
She
I
drives
totaled
an
my
automatic.
car. I literally totaled my car. My leg was not like that, but that was my
Mm.
lesson. It was
Mm.
like, stop driving with your leg like that, Lauren.
Mm.
Otherwise, you'll keep totaling cars.
Yeah.
Well, Lauren, thank you so much for being
Yeah.
here. I feel like I had so
you.
many other questions too, but you know what? I love where this went, and we're gonna put all of Lauren's socials and everywhere you can buy her art and follow her. So come hang out. You'll also going to the Burn this year again, right?
Yes.
Duh. So
Yeah.
we'll see her there. We'll be, you know.
I'll be probably like running a spreadsheet somewhere and like making sure site ops is good at our camp.
Are you in
Come
charge of
check in.
things?
I'm the spreadsheet master.
Oh, fuck that.
Look at me. I run the spreadsheets.
I run the
I
spreadsheet.
am the captain.
Listen, I'm autistic. I get
I
the
run the
spreadsheets.
spreadsheets. I'm like, I've got like 16 spreadsheets.
Yeah.
More coming
Wow.
every day.
See, I'm not like an organized person. I'm the girl that's gonna need an assistant once
Tap
I can
in.
afford one.
You want me to be your assistant? I'm looking for a third
You have
job.
9 jobs.
I'm looking for a third job.
Yeah.
You need someone to make spreadsheets for you? All right.
All right, good to know. Good to know if I have like an extra $100,000, you want to take a break from everything else and have you be like a little side assistant. She's like $100,000, you can afford me. She's like, that's fucking nothing. All right.
Well, cool.
Cheers from the closet, guys. We love
Cheers.
you.
Bye.
Yay.